Welcome to Unfiltered Hummingbird. I am your host, Camellia. Hey, we're going to unpack some questions, interview some guests, have a little fun together. Come on, let's get to it. All right. I spoke about somewhat like a book review that I did on Don't Give the Enemy a Seat at Your Table. It's Time to Win the Battle of Your Mind, and it's by Louie Giglio. Giglio. If I mispronounced that, I'm so sorry. Again, the title of the book was Don't Give the Enemy a Seat at Your Table. It's time to win the battleground of your mind. I read a book something like that by Joyce Meyer years ago. And this is just a subject that we need to continue to read on, practice on, put into place, course correct when we get it wrong. But something that we always have to be mindful of is our thought life. You don't have to just take the thoughts that come to you. So I'm not finished. I thought I was finished, but I'm not finished. I had some listeners that kind of gave me some more insight from their perspective. And I wanted to just follow up with some of the things that we talked about. So sometimes what I've heard is that some people don't realize when their thoughts are so negative. They've come accustomed to it. They just think negative thoughts and they think it's okay. Have you ever heard anybody or been around someone who you would consider like just negative every time? They had a negative with every positive thing that you said. I mean, if you said the sky was blue and it was so beautiful and it was so pretty, somebody who's having to entertain those negative thoughts and who's accustomed to doing whatever their negative thoughts tell them would say, oh, but it's going to rain. And if it's rain, you're going to mess up those nice shoes you got. And you didn't bring the umbrella. So, I mean, just always thinking of the negative. So changing your mindset. That's what we're talking about. Changing your mindset, changing your thoughts from negative to positive. Something that is uplifting, something that will encourage you and inspire you. And here's the thing. You don't have to entertain every negative thought that comes in your mind. Oh, yes, you will get them. You will get them. I haven't heard, if you know of something that can stop negative thoughts, stop them from even coming. Let me know. As far as I know, in my opinion, you're going to have them. So you have to maintain and combat them, and you have to come against them. So it's an all-day practice. This life of doing life together, it's a process. It's a journey. It's a journey. It's a journey to get those negative thoughts out of us. But here's the good news. There is good news. There is good news. When you continually, intentionally, on purpose, make sure that whatever you're thinking, that it is fruitful. Fruitful means it's good. It's going to be good for you and good for what you think about. So let me tell you some things. Let me share some kind of steps that I thought about, or I thought about. Let me share some tips about how to change that negative thought life. The first thing you got to do is you got to identify them. You must identify those negative thoughts. So you have to become aware of your negative thought pattern. Pay attention to the patterns of how you're thinking about things. What brings you down? What makes you feel anxious, sad, stressed? A way to help identify these things is by journaling, writing it down, so you can figure out, so you can see it. Like, oh, that is. When this person comes around, I always get sad. I always get anxious. I always get stressed out. But sometimes you have to write it down. So that's one suggestion that I have. In order to identify those negative thoughts, journal them. Write them down. Another thing, challenge your negative thoughts. Challenge it. One thing is I would say, I doubt it. You have a negative thought So once you identify this negative thought, you have to validate it. You say, I doubt it. I doubt that. I doubt that thought. That's not going to happen. I mean, just ask yourself the question, is that valid? Can that really happen? I mean, where's the evidence that supports that whatever that negative thought is or was will come to pass? So doubt it, refute it. Say, nope, not going to happen. Not possible. I won't let it happen. That's how you got to stop them as soon as it comes in. So another thing is, mindfulness, being mindful. And I said to be intentional about what you're thinking about. This is a process. You don't get this fixed overnight. Sorry. It's not overnight. It's something that you're going to be overcoming every moment of your life. And the better you get at it, the easier it gets, the less negative thoughts you have. Think about that. So when I talk about just being mindful, I'm thinking about what I'm thinking about. I, on purpose, put something positive in my mind in order for me to think about it. And I want to be overwhelmed by that good thought. Like, for an example, if I am on this weight loss journey, which I am, and I want to walk, but I don't like the heat. So it's really sunny outside. But I know I need to walk. And the best way for me to continue on my weight loss journey is to walk. And I like to walk outside so I can see nature and everything. So with that, if I look outside my window and I see the sun just beaming, the thought that's going to come in my head is, oh my goodness, it is hot out there. I'm not going to go walk out there in the heat of the day. I'm just going to wait. And that's going to be a setup. If I wait till later on in the day, guess what? I will not do it. So what I do when that thought comes up is I put my shoes on. I put my little Apple Watch on that tracks my steps. And I start walking. I go out that door and I start walking. I don't give myself time to entertain the thought about what the weather is. Now, if it's raining, I'm not walking outside. I don't do rain. I have natural hair. I'm not going to do rain. But anything else, I am going to respond quickly so I do not talk myself out of it. That's what I consider mindfulness. Just breathing. Breathing is another thing that you could do to just say, okay, no, I don't think that's not going to happen. I'm just going to relax myself and do some deep breathing. And then also replace negative thoughts. Any type of negative thought that comes in your mind, replace it with a positive one, a realistic one. Okay? So if you catch yourself thinking like, I'm a failure, replace it with, all right, made a mistake. Let's course correct. Let's do it again. The next time I do it, I will have success. You see what I did? I challenged it. And then I replaced that negative with a positive. Tell yourself every day. Make a gratitude list. I'm sure a lot of people have heard about this. Make yourself a gratitude list. Tell yourself, write down and tell yourself what you're grateful for. I'm grateful for my amazing husband. I am grateful for my beautiful children. My children are smart and they have quick understanding. My grandbaby is smart and she has quick understanding. My family is blessed. We have so much favor. Everywhere we go, we have favor. Those are my type of positive affirmations. I make good decisions. I have good scenarios. I have good days. My days are blessed. My body functions in the perfection to which it was created to function. Those are just examples of what I tell myself. Now you come up with your own, but have a gratitude list, have a list of positive affirmations, positive blessings that you create for your own life, for your family, for your children, and say them day by day. Say them day by day. And when you practice saying them day by day, they will automatically come up when a negative thought comes up. Try it. I On one of my jobs years and years ago, I had sweet little lady that was on my team, and if some people that were just being disruptive on the other side of the team, and she wanted them to be quiet, she would politely say, y'all don't need to be doing that, why don't you be quiet? Because again, she was an older lady. She just wanted to come in and do her job and leave. And every once in a while, she got a young one that would always come back, clap back, or say something crazy to her. She didn't say anything crazy back to him, but I would hear her say one thing all the time. So much so that I said, "Where did you get that from?" She would say, "No weapon formed against me shall prosper. No weapon formed against me shall prosper." I used to hear that so many times. Every time younger kids, not kids, but younger people would say something when she was trying to correct them, because she was more of the senior or the veteran, not because of her age, just because of her tenure at the job. She would try to help them. They would say something back. She would say, "No weapon formed against me shall prosper." So one day I said, "So, what exactly does that mean? Where did you get that from?" She said, "Oh, I got it from my Bible." I said, every time somebody tries to say something negative to me, or I hear something negative, I tell that thought, "No weapon formed against me shall prosper." I said, "Well, where is that?" Isaiah 54:17. She just riled it off. But it had become a practice or something that was automatic. It just automatically came out of her. I mean, it wasn't like she just had to go to her Bible and quote a scripture. That's just how she dealt with negative thoughts and negative comments. She practiced it and said it so much that it was automatic. It just came out of her. Okay, so you write your list. Now, also, sometimes that you might need to be around people who are positive. Yeah, be around people who are positive. You can't be around negative people and think that that will not affect you. Yes, it will. Yes, it will. So, who you're around, you will ultimately become like them. So, you need to be around positive people. Yes, you do. Get you some positive friends, some people who are going somewhere, people who are somewhere where you want to be. Positivity around you. Surround yourself around positivity. And then give yourself some grace. Give yourself some grace. That's a lot in the book. Don't give the enemy a seat at your table. He talks about this a lot. Give yourself some grace. We do not get it right all the time. And when we don't get it right, that's when that negative thought will come out and say, "See there? Told you wasn't going to do it. I told you wasn't going to meet that deadline. I told you them kids was going to be doing what they're not supposed to be doing." Give yourself some grace and say, "Okay, that's just one day. That's just one moment. I'm going to move past this one moment. I'm going to give myself some grace." Might have to give the kids or the husband some grace. But whatever it is, give yourself some grace. Some grace to get it right. Because, hey, we are not perfect. And when you fall, give yourself grace enough to get back up. Please get back up, because you can. Another thing I wanted to just mention is, make sure that you set realistic goals. Just like I said in the beginning of this podcast, this does not happen overnight. No, it's a journey. It's a journey, my friends. I promise you it's a journey. You don't get it right in a week. You don't get it right in 2 weeks. Like the little lady, the sweet lady who was on my team years ago, that was years of her just saying that and saying that one scripture, Isaiah 54:17, "No weapon formed against me shall prosper. No weapon formed against me shall prosper." That's all she would say. Anytime negativity came around her or she heard it in her head, she said it. It was her lifestyle. Okay. Yes. This becomes our lifestyle. Okay. So the more that we're um, aware of our lifestyle, what's around us, what we're seeing, what we're hearing, and our reactions and our response, it creates a different lifestyle for us. And hopefully a lifestyle that's positive, more positive than negative. So therefore, when you're around a lot more positive, it limits those negative inputs, those negative thoughts. So that means what you're watching on TV, what you're watching on your phone, your social media. Sometimes you need to take a limit. You need to have a break. Because you can't just consume. That's all you're doing is scrolling, watching TV, listening to radio. Back to mindfulness. You got to take a break. Okay? Give yourself some grace and take a break. And again, I would just say practice gratitude. Do positive things. Positive things like walking in nature. That's positive to me. It's refreshing. But whatever that positive things for you, what's your hobby that you love to do? Is it gardening? Oh, did you? I watched this show. You'll have to watch it. Maybe that's another episode where it talks about gardening is a way that, I mean, some people live for, past 90 and 100 just because they garden. It's something that they do every single day. That's another episode, but I digress. Back to changing your negative thoughts. Changing your negative thoughts. All right, let me go back down. What was I just saying? Now, go back down the list. First identify your negative thoughts. Rebuke, doubt, don't believe the negative thoughts. Practice saying positive things over you. And whatever you say, when a negative thought does come, replace it with a positive. Have you a gratitude list or a positive affirmation list. Say it every day. However many times you have to say it, say it. Be around people. Change your friends, your atmosphere. Be around people who are positive. Give yourself some grace. Practice loving yourself. Practice loving yourself and set realistic expectations. This is not going to happen overnight, but just be mindful. It's a day by day, moment by moment process. The more you're around positivity and you say positivity over your life, the less negative inputs you'll have in your life. All right. So I think that's about it, unless I have some more feet or some more go backs. But let me know. Pick up the book. Don't give the enemy a seat at your table. It's time to win the battle of your minds. I really like this book. And it's one of those books that is going to take you some time to really digest it and really apply some of the things that he says in the book. And these are just some of my takeaways. These are Camelia's takeaways. So you tell me what your takeaways are. I want to hear from you. All right, that's all we have for today. Join me next time on Unfiltered Hummingbird. I am your host, Camellia. Until then, have a blessed day.